Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Who killed Sarah in Yellowstone? 3 theories on Jamie's best ally's murderer. If fans thought John Dutton IE's death in Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 would severely complicate matters, they were in for a massive surprise when Sarah Atwood was murdered in Episode 11. The neo-Western drama TV show, created by Taylor Sheridan, has entered its endgame as it's reportedly ending after Season 5. So, Sheridan and co. are going all out in the final episodes and killing off characters left and right. However, while the audience is mostly aware of who is behind John's death, the mastermind of Sarah's demise is more of a question mark heading into Episode 12. Sarah was a market equities representative who got close to Jamie Dutton to try to ruin his family. She almost got her wish when Jamie filed articles of impeachment against his father. Plus, during the Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 premiere, Sarah orchestrated John's assassination and staged suicide. Just a couple of episodes later, though, Sarah was murdered. After a fight with Jamie, Sarah drove away from his house. At a stoplight, she was talking to Jamie on the phone, who had called to apologize, when another car pulled up next to Sarah, pretended to ask her for directions, and then shot her to death. Beth Dutton is one of the first names that instantly comes to mind when trying to figure out who planned Sarah's death in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11. Beth and Sarah have never gotten along. So, after Sarah killed Beth's father, it wouldn't come as a huge surprise to learn that Kelly Reilly's character orchestrated Sarah's murder. Beth wants revenge, and Sarah would undoubtedly be a part of her plans for vengeance. Sure, Jamie is number 1 on Beth's hit list. However, she knows Sarah had a hand in John's staged suicide, and given Beth's past, her killing Sarah in retaliation wouldn't be the most shocking or appalling thing the Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 character has ever done. After watching Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11, The Hollywood Reporter sat down with Dawn Olivieri, who played Sarah, to discuss her character's journey and death in the Paramount Network series. While she didn't confirm who was the mastermind behind Sarah's death, one of Olivieri's comments might spoil that Beth is guilty. The actress said, "The train station refers to the location where the Duttons buried the bodies of their enemies." So, Olivieri mentioning the train station might suggest that Beth, a Dutton, hired the 2 people in the car to kill Sarah. The actress might have used the term figuratively to generalize the fact that Sarah was murdered. However, as mentioned above, Beth killing Sarah isn't the most outlandish idea, making her one of the top suspects in Yellowstone Season 5's shocking death. Perhaps the most obvious suspects in Sarah's murder, at least after the events of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11, are the assassins she hired to kill John. During 353, Case Dutton arranged for the medical examiner to look over John Dutton's body again. With Case's help, the medical examiner ultimately determined that John's death could have easily been a staged suicide. So the case was publicly reopened and Kevin Costner's character's cause of death was changed from suicide to undetermined. The company Sarah contacted to assassinate John might have gotten spooked by the sudden change in the investigation and sent people to take care of Sarah. The hired hitmen could have easily turned on Sarah to protect themselves. Plus, Episode 11 showed Grant, the man Sarah met with in Episode 9 who represents the Hitman Company, watching the news announcing the twist development in the case of Kevin Costner's John's Yellowstone death. Grant then called someone and asked them, "You watching this?" He could have easily sent someone to get rid of Sarah. The only problem with this theory is how sloppy Sarah's murder was out in the open at a stoplight, compared to John's carefully orchestrated staged suicide. The 2 deaths are completely different, possibly implying that someone else planned Sarah's demise in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11. Another suspect in Sarah's death in Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 is the company she works for, Market Equities. Similarly to the Hitman theory, The change in John's cause of death might have scared market equities, causing them to take drastic measures to protect themselves. So the company's higher-ups took it upon themselves to hire assassins to kill Sarah in an attempt to separate themselves from her actions. Market equity's first priority will always be protecting the company. If anyone learns that one of their own was involved in the assassination of the governor of Montana, market equities would be ruined, foiling all its plans for the state. Market equities executives might be the weakest suspects in Sarah's murder in Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2. In the tangled web of betrayals, power struggles, and blood-soaked rivalries that define Yellowstone *, few deaths would shake things up quite like that of Sarah Atwood. The cunning and ruthless shark brought in by market equities to dismantle the Dutton dynasty has played her cards well, manipulating Jamie Dutton into challenging his father's rule and making bold moves against John and Beth. But what if Sarah's game came to an abrupt, violent end? If Sarah Atwood were murdered, the repercussions would be seismic. Here are 3 compelling theories on who might have killed Jamie's most powerful ally. ### Theory number 1. Beth Dutton, a ruthless end to a ruthless rival. If there is one person in Yellowstone who would want Sarah Atwood dead, it's Beth Dutton. The moment Sarah slithered into Jamie's life, Beth recognized the threat. Sarah isn't just a business strategist. She's a manipulator who knows exactly how to play men against each other. Beth sees her for what she is, an extension of market equities, the enemy that wants to take their land. But the rivalry isn't just professional, it's deeply personal. Beth's hatred for Jamie runs deeper than the land dispute. She blames him for her infertility and has vowed to make his life a living hell. Seeing Jamie fall under Sarah's spell would have only hardened Beth's resolve. If she believed that Sarah was the key to Jamie's growing confidence, and market equities continued assault on the ranch, she wouldn't hesitate to take her out. Beth has killed before, as seen in her brutal defense of the Yellowstone ranch. She's methodical and unflinching when she needs to be. If Sarah turned up dead, Beth would be at the top of the suspect list, especially if the murder bore signs of a personal vendetta. Something fiery, vengeful, and unmistakably Dutton. ## Theory number 2. Jamie Dutton, cleaning up his own mess. At first glance, Jamie and Sarah appear to be a formidable power couple, but Yellowstone has taught us that Jamie's alliances are often unstable. He is a man who wants power but struggles with the cost of keeping it. Sarah Atwood is his mentor, his lover, and perhaps his greatest influence since his break from the Duttons. But what if that influence became too much to handle? Jamie is no stranger to murder. He killed reporter Sarah Nguyen when she threatened to expose his past crimes, proving he's willing to eliminate threats. If Sarah Atwood began pushing him into corners he couldn't escape, perhaps pressuring him into actions that put his own future in jeopardy, he might have decided to cut his losses. If Jamie discovered that Sarah was using him solely as a pawn, or if she betrayed him in any way, he could have snapped. Alternatively, John Dutton's threats might have forced Jamie's hand. If John or Beth confronted Jamie with an ultimatum, get rid of Sarah or be destroyed, he may have seen no other way out. Killing Sarah himself would be a twisted way of proving his loyalty to his family while attempting to survive the inevitable war that is brewing. ## Theory number 3. Market equities. Eliminating a liability. Sarah Atwood may have been brought in as market equity's secret weapon, but even the most valuable assets can become liabilities. If Sarah overplayed her hand, made decisions that weren't sanctioned by the higher-ups, or failed to deliver the results they wanted, the corporation could have deemed her expendable. Market equities is a ruthless conglomerate that has shown no hesitation in using underhanded tactics to get what it wants. Killing Sarah could serve multiple purposes: erasing a failed strategist, covering up corporate misdeeds, or even framing the Duttons in a way that furthers their objectives. A murder orchestrated by market equities would be precise, calculated, and efficient, likely staged to look like an accident or pinned on someone convenient. If Sarah was stepping outside her designated role, making side deals, or acting on personal motivations rather than corporate strategy, her bosses might have decided she was too much of a risk. A well-paid hitman or a tragic accident could be their way of cleaning up the mess. ####. The fallout? What happens next? No matter who killed Sarah Atwood, if she is indeed murdered, the consequences would be explosive. If Beth did it, it would escalate her war with Jamie to an all-out battle. Jamie would either retaliate or be forced to make a devastating choice, align with his birth father, Garrett Randall's ideology, and destroy Beth or seek redemption. If Jamie did it, it could shatter his tenuous grip on power. Could he hide the evidence? Would his guilt consume him? Or would it push him further into the darkness, leading him to embrace his most ruthless self? If market equities was behind it, the Duttons might find themselves blamed for a crime they didn't commit, throwing them into an even deeper struggle against a powerful corporation willing to fight dirty.